Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the review for this new OnePlus 5T. And this OnePlus 5T is sort of a rehash of the OnePlus 5 that was actually launched a couple of months ago. This one has the new screen design in the 18:9 aspect ratio, and due to that they are able to fit a 6-inch screen. And I've been using this device for about 12 days now, and I'll share my experience in this review, and I'll divide this review between the pros and cons so that you can decide if this device is right for you. But before that, here are the specs for the OnePlus 5. As you can see, it is powered by the Snapdragon 835 chipset, and the specs are very close to the OnePlus 5 apart from the screen, and it comes with 64 or 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. The battery is still a 3300 milliamp hour battery, and rest of the specs are on the screen. So let's now move between the pros and cons. First, I'll talk about what are the things that I liked about this device, and in the later part of the video, I'll talk about the things that I did not like with this device. And the first thing is the screen. It has that new screen aspect ratio, which simply makes this device a lot more modern. It looks like the Galaxy S8 or even the Pixel 2 XL, as you can see. Now the screen is almost edge to edge, and due to that the earlier OnePlus 5 had a 5.5 inch screen, but this one in almost the same body size is able to pack in a 6-inch screen. So it looks a lot more modern. Yes, they had to put the fingerprint scanner at the back. I'll talk about that. They also have face unlocking. I'll talk even about that one. But this one looks a lot more stylish and modern now. I would say it looks like a modern 2017 smartphone. Now moving to the screen, the good thing is that the screen is still manufactured by Samsung, and it's a good quality AMOLED screen. It's not a quad HD screen that we are getting. It's a full HD plus, and I have to say the screen quality is actually really good, and even in direct sunlight the screen is easily visible. So I have no problems regarding the screen quality of this one. The screen quality is very good, and it does not have issues like the OnePlus 5 had, that's screen jelly issues or whatever. Now moving to the cellular call quality, I tested this one with Airtel 4G and even with Jio, and I had no problems regarding the cellular call quality. The cellular call quality was actually good on this device. The earpiece is good. It also still retains that physical LED notification light. Some of you were asking, so it is still there. And cellular call quality was good. Now moving to the speaker, here I thought OnePlus would upgrade, but the speaker is the same as the OnePlus 5. So it's a single mono speaker here that you get at the bottom. And yes, it's actually really loud, but I would have loved to see a stereo speaker. Now talking about the speaker performance, the speaker performance was good, and I also took a lot of calls via the speaker phone, and I had no problems regarding that. So the speaker quality was good, but I'll talk about the speaker later on. Now moving to another thing that I liked is it has auto brightness sensor and all the sensors that you expect, including NFC, and the auto brightness sensor calibration has been done very well on this device. I did not have to bother by manually adjusting the brightness. Even when you go outdoors or even come in indoor lighting situation, the brightness is handled very well, so no issues regarding that. Now moving to the performance, again, if you have used the OnePlus 5, the performance is very similar to that. It's still running the Snapdragon 835 chipset, and overall I have to say the performance of the phone is very good. It is a very fluid Android phone, and as it has 6 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of RAM management also was not an issue. It's a very fluid Android phone, and in my usage I never noticed any lagginess while I was using this phone. And I would go to an extent to say that the Pixel 2 XL is the most fluid Android phone that I've used. The second position would go to this OnePlus 5T and the OnePlus 5. It is that fluid. So extremely well done. Oxygen OS is a very light OS. It doesn't try to load up bloaty UI or something. It's very close to stock Android, and everything just works very well. RAM management has been done. So the moment you tap an application, it just loads. So no issues regarding general performance that I had with this device. Now, I don't know, this has sort of become a feature now. Thankfully, the OnePlus 5 T still retains the headphone jack, and the audio quality from the headphone jack is good. It is very similar to what I've seen with other smartphones having the Snapdragon 835 chipset. It doesn't have a dedicated amp or something like the LG V30, but I tested it with a couple of headphones. These are the Audio Technica and others I tested, and the audio quality was actually good with the headphones. I wouldn't say it's the best, but again, it is actually good, and I would say most of the users would be happy with the same. Now moving to the battery, though the battery on paper is similar capacity to the OnePlus 5, but I was pleasantly surprised that even though this is having a slightly bigger screen, a 6-inch screen, this was giving me slightly better battery life compared to the OnePlus 5. I don't know why. It might be that this new screen is more power efficient. If you talk about the screen on time, I was getting a screen on time anywhere between 5.5 hours to about 6+ hours with this OnePlus 5T. And if we compare it with the OnePlus 5, I would say the OnePlus 5 was giving me about average about 5.5 hours of screen on time. So this one is almost giving me about 30 to 40 minutes of extra screen on time. So the battery life is actually pretty good for a smartphone running on the Snapdragon 835 chipset. And also still this one has that dash fast charging, which is again the fastest in the industry. For example, let's say your OnePlus 5T is on about 20% charge, and in less than 1 hour it will charge fully, which is amazing. So battery life was never an issue, and still dash charging is the fastest charging that we are getting. Now I also did some gaming with this device. I played some casual games and it played it fine. I also played some heavy games like Asphalt Extreme and even Asphalt 8, and for the most part I would say I didn't notice any lag whatsoever with Asphalt Extreme and other games. With Asphalt 8, yes, I noticed minor lag once or twice, but apart from that, as you can see, the gaming experience even with Asphalt 8 was actually very good. With heavy gaming, yes, the back tends to get a little bit warm, but it was not getting very hot or anything like that. You guys, you have to note that still this back is that aluminum back, so it actually dissipates the heat via that. So while you heavily do gaming, the back will feel a little bit warm, but I didn't notice anything like overheating. Now moving to the camera, OnePlus has said that though on paper the camera specs are actually very similar to the OnePlus 5, but this OnePlus 5T, according to OnePlus, has a new sensor. The main one is a 16 megapixel and the secondary one is a 20 megapixel, but the secondary one is not a telephoto lens. In the camera app you do have that 2x option, and if you press that it zooms, but it's a digital zoom that they are doing. The second sensor, OnePlus say, is being used in low lighting conditions, and I've taken a lot of sample shots with this OnePlus 5T, as you can see, and the quality was actually really good in outdoor lighting conditions. The color reproduction was also very good, as you can see with the sample shots, and even though I used that 2x zoom, outdoor conditions it produced good results. But again, I also compared it with the OnePlus 5. I've shot a separate video. I'll have the link for that one in the description area. Yes, the 2x zoom, optical zoom, is slightly better on the OnePlus 5. But when we move to artificial lighting and indoor lighting conditions, where you might be taking a lot of snaps, for example, indoors and stuff, here I feel the OnePlus 5T goes ahead, especially in low lighting conditions. In low lighting conditions, the OnePlus 5T was producing better results compared to the OnePlus 5. In fact, I also compared it with the iPhone 10, and yes, the iPhone 10 obviously did better, but it was able to compete even with the iPhone 10. So definitely in low lighting areas, the camera performance has improved a lot, and still in video it is still doing a very good job. With the rear facing camera, we still have 4K video support with EIS, and that does a good job. And even the front facing camera employs electronic image stabilization. So if you're shooting a video, for example vlogging, etc., even with the front facing camera, the results were actually really good. And now moving to one thing I would say OnePlus added is that face unlocking feature. This is not very new. Android had this, but many people forgot about it. Now OnePlus has brought it back, and they say that they have done their own work on it to make it better, and it works. For example, it's on standby. You just press the power button and I'll show it to you. It won't unlock, but the moment I bring it close to my face, it will unlock. For example, let's see. and as you can see, it unlocked. It's really fast. Let me show you. You just press the button and it unlocks. Sometimes I feel that it's simply not working, but it is working, because if I just show it there, it won't unlock, but when I bring my face, it unlocks. You don't have to use this face unlock feature because they still have the fingerprint scanner, and the fingerprint scanner performance is very fast, just like the OnePlus 5, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, even OnePlus said that the face unlocking feature what they have is not as secure as we found on the iPhone 10 or the iris scanner like the Galaxy S8 and stuff, but this is a convenience feature that they have added. So if you like that face unlocking feature, you can use it, but you still have that fingerprint unlocking, which actually works very well. Now let's move to the things that I did not like with this OnePlus 5T. And the first thing is that it still has that mono speaker. Yes, it's really loud, but I would have loved to see a stereo speaker setup. For example, this Pixel 2 XL has that front firing stereo speaker, and that really makes a difference in everyday use. For example, even if you're gaming, watching YouTube videos, etc., it gives a lot more immersive experience. So it's sad to see that still it's having that single mono speaker. And also this OnePlus 5T officially is not water resistant. I did splash accidentally water on this and nothing happened, but officially OnePlus is not claiming this one to be water resistant. So that is one more thing that you have to know. Also, the UI is Oxygen UI that you get, and it's almost close to stock Android, really fast. But on the left, if you go, you get this pane, which is OnePlus own pane. I would have loved to see if they could provide an option to get Google Now on cards instead of this one. That as of now is not there. I hope they can bring that. Google Assistant is there and that works, so you don't have to worry about it.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant.
So as you can see, so all those functions work. But yeah, I love the Google Now cards on Pixel devices. I've sort of used to it. I would love to see if they can provide that options in the setting. And also still, I had this problem even with the regular OnePlus 5. The back is again very slippery. So that is one thing you have to note, and it can easily slip out of your hands. So use a case with it or apply a skin, I would say. And also one more thing that I've noticed is that now this back camera is just going a little bit more, and it actually rests, the device actually rests on that. Ideally, you have to buy a case with this one if you want to protect this back camera. And lastly, this is not specific to the OnePlus 5T, but regarding Android updates, yes, OnePlus is providing Android updates and Oxygen OS updates, but they don't have any clarity. Like for example, this particular handset would get at least 2 years of Android updates or something like that. I hope in the future they clearly mention when a phone is launched how long would a particular device get Android updates and security updates. Apart from that, it's a very good Android smartphone, and I would say again, I got this question from quite a few of you: which version should I go for, the 6GB RAM variant or the 8GB RAM variant? I would say RAM does not matter that much, because even with the 6GB RAM variant, the performance is very fluid. You don't have to worry about it. It comes down to storage, I would say. If you can live with that 64GB of storage, out of that you roughly get about 55GB of storage. If you can live with that, go with that one, because RAM is not an issue. I would say go with that 8GB RAM variant only if you require storage more than 64GB, because that 8GB RAM variant comes only with the 128GB storage variant. So overall, I would say it's a very good Android phone, and considering the price point for that 64GB variant that comes with 6GB of RAM, I feel as of now this is one of the best balanced, powerful Android smartphone that you can get. I've also posted other videos on this OnePlus 5. For example, I've compared its camera performance with the older OnePlus 5. So you can check out that video. Links for those videos are there in the YouTube show notes. And that's it for now for this review. I hope you found this review helpful. If you found it helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button. And if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.